So, what if I told you there's a divine prescription for a life that's genuinely filled with purpose, prosperity, and real meaning? Well, today, we're going to dive into some really powerful ideas from Muchinga Simbule's book, God's Prescription for Wealth Creation, to explore that very blueprint.
We all want to feel happy and secure, right? It's just human. But what if the way we've been taught to think about wealth is actually holding us back? This book really challenges us to think bigger, to see wealth not just as, money in the bank, but as a life that's rich with health, happiness, and the power to actually fulfill our unique purpose.
You see, the reason so many of us feel kind of stuck isn't always just a financial problem. It's something deeper, a state the book calls dis-ease. And that's not a typo. It's a fundamental lack of ease, a feeling of misalignment that comes from living a life that isn't connected to a higher purpose. And it can show up as anxiety, frustration, or that nagging feeling of unfulfilled potential.
So, what's the remedy for this dis-ease? Well, it's found in this idea of a prescription. But hang on, don't think of this as some strict, rigid set of rules you have to follow perfectly or else. It's way more like a framework of divine wisdom, a guide to help us align our actions with God's plan for a truly abundant and fulfilling life.
And the source for this whole framework we're exploring today is the book you see right here. All right, now let's really get into the core of it.
At the very heart of this prescription is a really powerful concept, the wealth creation equation. You can think of it as a divine formula that completely redefines how we can achieve true abundance.
Okay, so here's how it breaks down. Your purposeful work plus God's divine blessing equals true wealth. See, it's all about partnership. This shows us that real prosperity isn't just about our own hustle and grind, and it's not about passively sitting back and waiting for a miracle either. It's the powerful combination of our dedicated, meaningful effort and divine favor.
And this isn't just a theory. You can actually see it play out in the story of Isaac. He didn't just sit around and pray for a harvest. He did the work. He sowed seeds in the land. Then, the Lord blessed his efforts. And the result? He reaped 100-fold return in a single year and became incredibly prosperous. It's the equation, right there in action.
We've seen how the equation works, so now let's focus on our part of it. It all starts with adopting the right perspective on our work and really embracing personal responsibility. This is the foundation that we build everything else on. I love this analogy because it captures the principle so perfectly. God provides the opportunities, the resources, the potential. The food is out there for the birds. But it's our responsibility to get out of the nest and do the work required to bring that provision into our lives.
And this really highlights the huge mindset shift we have to make. I mean, it's so easy for our view of work to become distorted, turning it into this heavy burden we just have to get through every day. But the original design was for work to be a blessing, a sacred act of partnership and co-creation that actually leads to deep fulfillment and helps us express our purpose.
But look, work without direction is just being busy, right? That's where the next essential piece comes in, vision. Think of it as the compass that gives all of our work meaning and points us directly toward our destiny.
This verse from Proverbs is incredibly powerful. It makes it crystal clear that vision isn't just a nice idea or some corporate buzzword. No, it's a fundamental necessity. Without a clear picture of where we're going, our efforts get scattered, we stagnate, and our potential can ultimately, perish. Vision is what connects our present reality to our future potential. You see, a life without it is often driven by immediate desire, just reacting to the urgent needs of the now. But a life guided by vision is fueled by hope, allowing our future destiny to shape our present actions. We can choose purpose over impulse because we see a much greater reward ahead. So, what does this all mean for you right now? Well, this isn't just some abstract theory. It's a direct invitation for you to step into your role as a co-creator and begin unleashing the divine potential that's already within you. Let's quickly bring it all together. First, redefine wealth. It's holistic well-being, not just money. Second, see your work as a sacred act of service. Third, take responsibility, because that's where your true authority and impact come from. And finally, use a clear vision to guide every single thing you do. And this brings us to the most important part. What you do next. The real question is this: what one step, no matter how small it seems, are you going to take today to start cultivating your own potential? Look, we've only just scratched the surface of this powerful framework. If you're ready to dive deeper and discover the complete blueprint for a life of purpose and prosperity, the definitive guide is the book itself, God's Prescription for Wealth Creation by Muchinga Simbule.